What's up, guys? Welcome back. What a weekend. There is so many bullish things going on in the crypto market right now. I know the war is still going on in Iran and Israel, but Bitcoin is holding up and it's showing its resilience. I mean, the fact we're sitting at $107,000, 4% from all-time high after a war like this is showing its strength and resilience as a global reserve asset. We have so much to talk about today. I'm so excited. There's really, really good things going on in the crypto community, the crypto space, and they're all bullish. I mean, there is zero bearish news right now. When's the last time you heard anything bad happen about a hack or a Bitcoin or, maybe I just jinxed it, but there's nothing bad going on in the market right now. And, the fact that people think that this is still a downtrend and like we hit the double top, I don't agree. I mean, I think we're really getting onto something. And, I see the next all-time high probably happening this week. We're 4% away. 112,000 is the all-time high, and we are literally 4% away. I want to get right into it today. I'm so excited. I just keep looking at the screen because I don't even know where to start. There's just so much momentum going, stuff with Trump, stuff with MetaPlanet, MicroStrategy, all good things. Let's get right into it. Remember, everything I say to you is not financial advice. Please, this is for entertainment purposes only. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. None of this is clickbait. I don't do that. This is all real news I'm pulling from X that I found over the weekend that I just hit the little save tab so I could share with you guys. So no clickbait here, all real facts, latest up-to-date news in the crypto community. Let's go. The SEC approved President Trump's media deal to buy $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. This is huge. This comes before the fact that he is also planning to buy $12.6 billion. That's going to be coming soon. It's already approved by the SEC. Come on, look at these purchases. They're massive. And I mean, it's from the president of the United States. There's also something that came out just new this morning, like an hour ago, that he's opening a ETF for Bitcoin and ETH combined. That's awesome. You'll be able to invest in something where you're getting allocation in both Bitcoin and Ethereum together. It's going to blow up. President Trump knows what he's doing. He's not a stupid man. Doesn't matter if you like him or not as a person. He knows what he's doing financially. His whole family is bullish on ETH. Ethereum, guys. Watch it. World War III FUD couldn't push Bitcoin below 100K and you're nervous. I think we hit about $100,200 to be precise last week. Come on, the fact we built that 100,000 support, it's textbook setup, guys. I don't care what's going on, over there. It's going to affect the price a little bit, but it does not affect the fundamentals of Bitcoin as a token, as a reserve, as a form of value. It doesn't affect anything that it was built to do. It doesn't affect the network, the speed, anything. It's just a macroeconomic factor that's short-term FUD. That's literally what it is. And it didn't push the price below 100. So we're still here. We're still alive. Everybody's healthy and safe over here. I'm in Miami. I'm very blessed. The stuff going on over there is absolutely terrible. I don't want to get too into it, but I'm very blessed to be where I am with my health and my shelter right now, because there's people over there struggling. The fact that there's this huge economic factor going on over there and we're still where we are in the markets is showing its resilience. Crypto is here to stay, which brings me into my next point. Jack Dorsey is saying that the current financial system is irrelevant or will be as irrelevant as the fax machine. And, crypto is taking over. Traditional financial markets will pour into Bitcoin and they will pour into the crypto sector. I mean, look at Omdo. They're bringing all the traditional assets on chain, and pretty soon you'll be able to trade all your stocks 24/7. Everything will be shipped into crypto. It's just easier. I could send someone XRP. I could send someone Bitcoin immediately. The fact I have to withdraw from my bank account or ACH payment, which would take 1 to 2 or 3 business days, is ridiculous. I can have my money, my sovereign cryptocurrencies that are stored on my cold storage wallets, sent to somebody else's cold storage wallets within seconds. And, maybe they'll get it like 5 minutes later, but come on, that's a network thing. And like the speed of cryptocurrency is just improving. You have coins like Sui, Solana. They're so fast. Sui, if you guys don't know, is really up and coming too. They're super, super fast L1 network. And, they're ranked, I think, number 12 biggest crypto coin right now. And half of you probably haven't even heard of it. So Strategy bought another 10,000 Bitcoin, guys. I mean, come on. It's just week after week. He bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. And the best part about this is that he did not sell shares of MicroStrategy. And he took it from Strife, Strike, and Stride, which are three sub proxies of MicroStrategy that he's come out with the past 6 months. So he's not even selling shares of MicroStrategy now. He's taking it directly from his other stocks that he came out with. It's not diluting shareholders because he's got these stocks set up with an option strategy to pretty much play Bitcoin in this everlasting circle of investing. And I'm not sure if this is true or not, but he was appointed a Bitcoin advisor to the government of Pakistan. There's no clarification from him whether this is actually true or not, but I did see it from a few sources. And guys, if this is true, I mean, he is going to be building a strategic reserve for another country. I mean, he's just the first. Like, think about it. He's the most pro Bitcoin advocate in the world. And Pakistan wants to set up a Bitcoin reserve for months now. They've been talking about it. And if they actually appointed Michael Saylor to do this, that would be unbelievable. And I think it's really cool, actually, for someone, from the United States to get asked to build a strategic reserve for Bitcoin in another country, and not really only another country, a country in the Middle East. This is just to show you, like, Bitcoin is the global asset. It's going to be traded and distributed and used amongst the entire world and not just the United States. And guys, this is the global arms race to get your hands on as much Bitcoin as you can. I talked about it in one of my shorts. Point 0.1 Bitcoin is what you really should strive to get. It is the new 1 Bitcoin. And, every young investor is trying to get their hands on 1 Bitcoin. But if you can get your hands on point 0.1, you're probably going to be very wealthy in 5 to 15 years. When Bitcoin's sitting at, like, my bold prediction of $13 million by 2035, which, isn't really that bold given the rate we've already increased up until now and the amount of institutional money pouring in. If it's sitting at $13 million by 2035, point 0.1 Bitcoin is $1.3 million. So, in a 10 years time frame, you could really turn $10,000 from 100,000 into 1.3 million. I know it sounds crazy, but it's actually quite true. And it's really hard to think about because these numbers sound insane. But 5 years ago, when I got in at 6,200, if you told me that I would 15x my money in 5 years, I'd be like, put everything in right now, all of it. I did go in heavily, but I would have taken out loans. I would have done crazy things because to 15x your money in 5 years, unheard of. Find me another stock or any type of commodity that you could do that with. You can't. CoinShares filed for a Solana ETF, guys. This is huge. I mean, institutions want Solana, and Solana is going to absolutely blow up. I mean, look at the volume already for the past week. Yes, it dropped, but like, what was it, 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago? It shot all the way up to 290 from 140. People don't remember this. They only remember when it goes down because people are very scared of losing their money and taking risks. And when stocks and crypto or real estate or anything that you own goes down in value, that's what you talk about. You don't talk about the uprising. But when those things are down in value by that much, it's best to dollar cost in, meaning put a little bit and sprinkle a little bit in every day. If I came into, let's say, $50,000 today, would I put it all in Bitcoin immediately? Yes. No, I actually wouldn't, but I would put heavy amount of it, let's say 50% of it into Bitcoin today. And then if it dropped within a week, I'd put, another 10%. If it dropped again, I'd put another 10% and start dollar costing in to get that best average price. Because if you dollar cost averaged into Bitcoin since the creation, you would totally be in the green no matter when it's ever red, because of the fact that you're getting in and you're getting in at low prices and you're buying in at high prices. The best thing you can possibly do with Bitcoin is set an amount that you're comfortable with investing and set it into a recurring buy. The Coinbase has it. I don't suggest holding your Bitcoin on Coinbase, but you could set up these recurring buys on Coinbase where, you're putting 200, 300, 400, whatever it is from your paycheck away weekly just to get the best price dollar costing in. This one's an awesome thing to look at. I love charts. I love numbers and I love statistics. And right here, we have something that looks, like something we would look at 20 years ago and not even think about the effect that it would have on the world, 20 years later. which is that we are only 3% of adoption in 2025 for Bitcoin. We're the same as online banking was in 1996, the same as social media was in 2005 before Instagram or before, anything really blew up, and before the internet in 1990. Now, everyone thinks like the Bitcoin bubble is about to crash and that it's so late and that it's at $106,000. But guys, Bitcoin is so early. And the fact it's even being compared to 3% right now, adoption compared to the internet and social media in their early stages is just to show you that like we are so early in the adoption. And in 5 to 10 years, when Bitcoin is at that million to infinity price range that we don't even know what it's going to be because of the institutional money pouring in, it's really hard to think about like what phase we're in with Bitcoin because it's never going to stop growing. It's the most financially secure system and network in place right now and the hardest asset on the planet because of how scarce it is. And it's running out, and it's running out to the point where exchanges are extremely low levels. Now, the whole reason Bitcoin was created was to have a peer-to-peer system without even having to use like Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, or Robinhood or any of that garbage. It was supposed to be from me buying it from someone else, like an actual trade off, me buying Bitcoin from you. And there are websites that actually you could do this. I'm not sure of the names. Don't quote me, but I just saw the other day another YouTuber talking about it. But there are a few different websites that are reliable and trustworthy that you could buy solely peer to peer. And I do know a few people that buy peer to peer, some in person, some on these websites. I just can't think of the name off the top of my head right now. But, it's really coming down to how much can you get your hands on over the next 5 years? Because by the time 2035 hits in 10 years, 99% of all Bitcoin will already have been mined and completely wiped, like gone. And, there's already 3 to 4 million Bitcoin that are just missing in the blockchain that were, sent by mistake or just can't be accessed or forgot passwords or all that other stupid shit. Excuse my French. But you know what I mean? There's 3 or 4 million gone already. And there's only 21 million that are going to ever be mined. And 99% of that is going to happen by 2035. So we're about to go into the digital gold rush era like we did back in the 70s when everybody tried to get their hands on that California gold. And I mean, gold is still a really good investment. My father owns quite a bit of gold. I personally do not like gold because I see Bitcoin as a better gold, a harder gold, and a more scarce and finite version of it because gold can constantly be mined. There's more gold into circulation monthly. So Bitcoin is capped. There is never going to be any more than 21 million Bitcoin mined. And I love that. I love that there's a finite amount. Just take it with a grain of salt, but get your hands on as much Bitcoin as humanly possible. Michael Saylor says, sell a kidney, get more Bitcoin. And, my plan is to really accumulate as much Bitcoin as I physically and financially can up until the year of 2035 because I can't even imagine, and I'm getting the chills right now, what the price is going to be at in 2035 because 5 years ago at 6,000, you couldn't even told me that we'd be past 100,000 in 5 years. And, it's going to be to the point where there is so much institutional capital flowing in now, and it's not going to stop. Businesses and all these entities and companies and nations and sovereign wealth funds are stacking and they're not selling, guys. Like the thing is, it's going to squeeze the price up. The people selling now are retailers taking profits. Institutions are not selling their Bitcoin. They're just not. And now you even have Justin Sun's Tron going public in the stock market, in the NASDAQ. There is an altcoin called Tron. It's number 8th in the crypto market cap. And, it's decentralized internet essentially. And, he's bringing his company on chain and he's bringing it to the stock market. And that's just going to draw even more money into these altcoins now. And, Eric Trump is apparently, one of the backers or investment bank or something, but, he's getting involved. And, if these altcoins start, going public in the stock market, it's just more institutional capital like the Solana ETF that was filed recently. This one's kind of crazy if it's true that XRP is being integrated into Cardano. Now you even have like multiple altcoins coming together to build a stronger network. And if they're integrating XRP into Cardano, excuse me, the fact that they're coming together, two of the top 10 biggest cryptocurrencies, it's just it's just showing you that the community and the financial system is shifting, guys. It's shifting from traditional markets into crypto, and the crypto community is way stronger than TradFi. Like, think about, like, would Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg ever come together? I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's so much competition in the regular stock market. Like, you don't really see the collaboration between companies like this at this caliber. Like, these are the two of the top 10 biggest crypto companies coming together to integrate their networks. You just don't normally see that in the stock market. And like, even that sense of community right there is one of the reasons that I'm involved with crypto, because it's so strong. And the people that were in for more than 5 years, like before I got in, it's just like, it's such a nice feeling to talk about crypto to people that know the networks, that know the founders, that know the coins. And I can't wait to even go to the Bitcoin conference next year just for this reason. I should have went this year. Travel was just crazy that month, but next year I will for sure be going there, because the networking and the community just looked like such a good time. And the fact that 30,000 people went there, that's absurd. It's crazy. It's been the longest and toughest bear market for sure for cryptocurrency, but mainly for altcoins. We saw a rip up in November to really, really, really high highs. And, we've been kind of stagnant, declining, and people have taken, a huge hit on altcoins, like a huge hit. And, there's the biggest gap between fundamental growth and price. This time, only a small group of people will be making a high return in this cycle. Now, you got to be patient with altcoins. Dollar cost into the best ones that you think are going to perform. In my opinion, I think that the best performing altcoins this cycle are going to be the ISO 222 coins that are integrating real world usage into the crypto space. Now, they're bridging the gap between traditional finance and DeFi, and they're like XRP, Algo, Cardano, Quant, XDC, IOTA, and a few others, H bars in there, and there's 8 of them. But, those are going to be the most utilized tokens in the blockchain and the crypto ecosystem. And I feel like, those are going to see a lot bigger gains than all the memes, all the other random alts that we've had. Like, it's not going to be in a 2021 alt season, in my opinion. It's going to be real world assets. You're going to see a lot of cryptocurrencies go out. I think you're going to see a lot die off. And all these people are just like thinking it's going to be alt season like 2021, where you could just put your money wherever and things are going to boom. I would specifically pick your 5 to 10 best projects and allocate into that, because you want to invest your money in what you're fully convicted in, what you believe in, and what you think or know is going to perform very well, or is a real company, or watch the partnerships they're making. Those are the kind of coins you want to be in this cycle. I personally don't think that every altcoin is going to make it. I mean, it's just, there's too many. There's thousands of them now. There's way too many coins for there to be that much money pouring into all of them. So pick your 5 to 10 best. I'll leave that point at that. Shopify has crypto payments. This is huge. I mean, even if it's USDC, this is just bringing more and more money on chain. I think it's amazing. I don't use Shopify personally, but for anyone who does, pretty cool, I guess. Hedera just locked in one of crypto's biggest real world deals. This is huge. I love HBAR. I think it's a great token. It's an ISO coin. It's going to do well. I've watched it 10x in 5 weeks in November, which was absolutely crazy, from like 4 cents to 40 cents. That was insane. I was freaking out, telling everybody to buy it, and then it dropped from 40 cents back down to 18. So people talk about that drop, but they don't talk about the 10x. And now we're kind of stabilizing at the 17 cents to 18 cents, 19 cents range, but it's gonna rock it up, and it's gonna rock it up quick. So I am well positioned, I'm prepared, and I'm ready for it. But anyways, they locked in a deal with a company I don't really know, EQTY Lab. I guess they're backed by NVIDIA and Intel. This is huge. They're building real world utility. They're public sector adoption, and nobody's paying attention to this, guys. Nobody is paying attention to the big money pouring in these coins behind the scenes. the price is not reflected. Until retail comes in, until rates are cut, these prices aren't reflected by what's going on behind closed doors. The last thing I want to talk about in my video is a Japanese company called Metaplanet, and they are purchasing Bitcoin at a very, very fast rate. I recently bought the stock last week. The stock is up pretty high today because of the fact how much Bitcoin they bought yesterday. They bought another 117 million and they raised it with 0% bonds from their company. So they're buying Bitcoin without spending any of their company's money, kind of like what MicroStrategy is doing. Their Japanese is number one traded stock on their stock market, and their market cap hit over $1 trillion last night. And I watch this now. I'm watching the Japanese market closely because this could be huge. I mean, the fact that they're the number one traded stock already in Japan's market and they have a plan to acquire, I think it was about 175,000 more Bitcoins than they currently own within 2 years. I'm super bullish on this company. I've told a few friends about it. I think it's a very, very early stage. If I did the math a little bit and to compare it to MicroStrategy, it's like buying MicroStrategy at like $45. So with the amount of Bitcoin they plan on purchasing, I'm super bullish and I'm very confident. And this is a long-term hold for me because I do think that they are the next MicroStrategy because of the fact that, you know, Japan is doing quantitative easing. They're the number one traded stock already. And it's just a cool company to be invested in and have another market to play with in Japan. And actually, I'm going to end my video with this statement from Anthony Pompliano. And it's this: teaching people to save in Bitcoin rather than dollars would lift millions of people out of poverty. Fix the money, fix the world. Now, this can be explained with the housing market. This can be explained with the DXY and the US dollar index, which is drastically falling. I don't know if you saw that, but you know, long-term savings in Bitcoin has outperformed every single asset class and any single commodity or asset since the creation by Satoshi in 2009. There has been nothing better than putting your money in Bitcoin. I don't care what you think or what you say it is. By the numbers, nothing has been better than holding Bitcoin. So guys, if you don't have any Bitcoin right now, I would really highly advise you allocate, you know, even if it's 1 to 3% of your portfolio. It's just one of those long-term things that I've even had friends called like a cult because I'm like promoting it or like, you know, a Ponzi scheme. And it's none of those things. It's a real world store of value. And it's going to be a lot bigger than it is now. And we've already seen that. It's proven, and it's not going to go down. It's in the very early stages. And yes, it may have drawbacks. We'll see 30 to 50% drawbacks. That's completely normal. It's a volatile market. But long term, there is nothing better where you should and could put your money. And I do think Bitcoin is here to stay. I don't think we're at the top. We just hit 107,800 as I'm speaking. And I do think we're pretty close to all-time highs again. So take what you want from it. I really appreciate you guys watching the full video. I know this one was a long one. Stay tuned for more, guys. There will be a couple more this week because there is so much news going on. And thank you guys again.